Hello and welcome to Software Inc., a management software development game. Um, Kind of like, was it YouTube or your YouTube life? I think it was called Mad Games Development or something like that. There's a few in this category that have come out over the years. This one's still in development. It's not long had a release of a build. It's in beta, I believe, still, but it's very much progressing along very nicely, and an active workshop with many mods that add additional things to the game. This game can get quite in depth to the point where you need to hire IT cleaners, cooks, things like that, additional members to help you progress and grow your company, make more money. As we can see, we've got 72,000 sitting up here, but with no loans or any investment anywhere just yet. Just one guy, myself, not myself because his name is not me. If I click on him, he's part of the core team, and he's, as you can see, not me, clearly. There is a bunch of companies all making or responsible making their own software. You start in the year 1980, and there's a bunch of software that's already out. There are mods that will allow you to change the year that you start. I think you can start in like 1970, something like that. I think was the earliest that you can go back to, and meaning that there's a lot less stuff up here already released, and companies are just finding their footing at that point. And if you want to see like our company, how much we got, how many fans we got, well, clearly we're really popular. We haven't been bankrupt. We was founded this year. We've got no products out, no patients or patents. We haven't distributed anything, and we've got no subsidiaries. And chart-wise, well, we're non-existent, and details. Disable a damn tutorial. Oh, you can buy stock, so that means you can buy a company out. Interesting. And we've got no products on the market, but if we click on somebody else's company, they make the operating system and have made the Pen Pro, the Pen OS 2, 3 and 4, and they've still got active users on all of their operating systems, kind of like Microsoft with theirs. People going, I don't want to go to Windows 10 because I preferred Windows 7 and I didn't like Windows 8. And back when Vista just came out, some liked it, most hated it. Windows 8 was the same. Some people liked it, some people didn't, and the same with Windows 10. A lot of people still use Windows 95 because they can change it and manipulate it to function the way that they want it to do. In fact, if you look at the cache points you'll see that they're still working on Windows XP, not Windows 10 or Vista. Windows 8 that came out, they're still working on XP because it's a stable, trusted system, and they bought the rights to use it on their products, and they don't see the point in having to upgrade to the next best operating system when they consider the operating system that they're already on is more than good enough to do what they need to do. So yeah, and those of you who've over here or in the area that I live in, within the last couple of years they started putting bus stops in that have a display built in that will tell you when the buses are due and how long you've got to wait for the next one there, and each bus number, etc, etc, etc. And when they crash, you can see that it's the XP system that they run on. So it tells you a lot. And this game's kind of similar like that. When you build an operating system, you'll have dependencies, and either you've made those particular softwares, programs yourself, or you're having to buy the rights to use those said programs within your operating system. And there are a bunch of different things that you can design, from an operating system, 2D editor, audio, game engine, game, official software, and a CMS. That quite a bit that you can go with, and you'll eventually get 3D editors and things like that you'll unlock as you progress through the research, which we have none at the moment because we've only just started. And when you finally decide that you want to make something, it's up to you as to what you put into it. And we could say we want all of this in, but take note that you'll take, these are the recommended staff: 2 designers, 3 programmers, 1 artist, estimated code unit 700, estimated art unit 300, or 3.0 rather, 7.0 and 3.0, license cost. You can change your price accordingly here to how much you're willing to sell the product for, royalties, approximate bandwidth, and your max quality quality and expected interest, and so on and so forth. So this would be a good one to go for at the get-go because it's got 100% interest, but taking these off means that you've got less interest. But if you can get that out, you could reach a maximum of 101 million people, nearly 102 million people. So you could get a good comeback on that, and usability would be high. Whereas if, say, you went for maybe an audio tool, again, but you're not guaranteed 72 million people. Operating system wise, if you throw all of this on along with 138 million, but you start taking things off of it, and you see it all starts to drop, and yeah, you eventually want your own operating system, your own server system, so you could run everything through yours and reduce your outgoings, your potential outgoings anyway. So goes quite in depth, and it's a game that can be quite slow at the start because you tend to take contracts, and that would be no good to me because it requires 2 artists, and my guy is only good at design and programming. So this one would be perfect, and I could get a potential 11.1 thousand, so just over 11,000, with an upfront of 1,000 being paid, and when done I get another 10,000. But if I do it late, if I don't do it, or I cancel it or anything, it's nearly 4,000 penalty, and I get $69 per bug that's fixed on top. So I could definitely do that, and if I wish to accept, I just accept, and then depending on how many people you've got working for you, you can allocate them within teams. So you could have 1 designer, 1 programmer, 1 artist, 1 lead designer, 1 leader, and have them as your core team, and if you've got more than 1 team, then you can allocate the job to a different team, and you get to name your teams. So you could have like the early shift, the late shift, the game specialists, I don't know, whatever you want to name them, you can name them, and obviously we'll assign that to our core team, which by default it already is, and he'll begin working on that, and we'll get a green bar that will slowly, or a bar that will slowly fill up, and when it gets to the end, we can hit develop or promote and go on from there. And we have a maximum of 8 days to do it in, but bearing in mind that the days that one day, and depending on how many your settings, I've set it so there's 8 days per month. If you go with one day, then there's only one day per month. But it's well, very much on a large scale. You've got to think long term rather than short term on this game, and ideally what you want is to slowly but surely progress and build up your company to a much more acceptable level, and take note of your expenditure per month, and when you feel that you've got enough money in the bank to develop your own software, then go for it. 2D editor would probably be the way that I would go, and get that out there, and then you can make quite a substantial amount of money that you could then invest in either a new office building or additional members of staff. My focus would be additional members of staff. I would probably go for a programmer, allocating myself as design at that point, or I would have an artist, or I'd have a guy that could, or a person rather, who could do programming and design, and then somebody who could do artist side of things, all within this small confined space. And the more you use a system, the more degraded it becomes. So this is now a 93% state, and the noise levels within your area will affect your staff and their focus. And one day this cough will pass, and we can see the noise from this button here. And so we know that outside generates noise, the computer's generating noise, so that will disrupt other people within this building, and that's not good. And this cough is really annoying. What else can I tell you about this game? I don't know exactly how long it's been out. The last time I played it was 2 years ago, I believe. And back then it was... One sec, I need to cough again. Jeez. Kids passing their germs on her. I got 2 boys and a girl, and my youngest son decided to pass the cold on to me, so yeah, not good. Anyway, what was I talking about? I can't remember, but each person has their own unique things. Like he's a generous and lazy person, to be honest. And who works from 7 till 5. And you can adjust the amount of time that they spend within the work environment. And we can change this to like 9 to 5 or whatever. We just edit the number, and we can change it from PM to AM. So we can do a night staff and a day staff. And we could have somebody who's in on an afternoon, depending on this floor space. So we could have a core team that's doing, or one team that's doing the day shift in this room, and then when they finish, another team come in and do the night shift. But before they come in, we could have a bunch of cleaners who come in, and IT who work on all the machines, keeping everything in perfect condition. And so there are many ways that you can progress and work and make your company much more viable, and get your products out that little bit quicker. And ideally you want to take advantage of the day rather than the month. So the more you can do within one day, the better. And being one person who's working on this program that I'm currently doing for the chicken fan program, the more people I'd have working on there, the faster it get done, meaning the more I can fix bugs and get released and get my money and do another program, and so on and so forth. And yes, I've been coughing my guts up and I'm smoking a cigarette. Don't worry, it's all good. Once your staff are finished, if you don't have night staff, I believe you can skip the day. So you haven't got to wait so long for your employees to come back to work. And hiring employees is quite simple. What you want them to be good at, and their salary you want them to be low, overall skill, specialization, personality, and how much you're willing to spend. And we could whop it all the way up to the max, or we could go with that and then begin searching, and their skills are represented by stars now. Okay, that's good to know. And if you check the boxes for these, then all this information would have been available from the get-go. But if we close that a minute, and I'll show you what I mean by, if I check them, obviously it's going to cost more money, but and we'd want say a programmer, and then begin searching. Now we can see that their skill is not so good in programming itself, but within systems it is good. So we can see in what area of the programming they're really good at, audio and system. But we can improve this as well. We can train them, send them on courses and whatnot. We can see that they're more of a hard worker, not so much of a fast learner. They're neither independent or social, and they're easily stressed. Ideally you want this more of a middle area. Compatibility is normal as to the compatibility towards your staff members. How well will they get on with them? And this one's good, but he's lazy, social and hardworking. And again, system and algorithm for that one. And their age, how much money they expect, their skill and compatibility here, and then higher. And you'd most likely go for somebody like this who's great. And I don't know if people can retire on this. I think they can. So you might want to consider going for a youngish person. And this one's a fast learner and decent in the programming and algorithm. But we're not looking to hire anyone. We was just looking because we may as well. And this guy's taking his time on that. Anyway, What else can we look at? We've looked at research, all of our teams and what they will do, who's in charge of what team. I could put myself in charge of the team, and all the other good stuff further down, and development time to 100%, and then, but anyway, your marketing side of things, your financial side of things, HR, there's a bunch of stuff within this game, and I would recommend it to anybody who likes tycoon kind of games, anyone who's into the management sim-based area, anybody who's interested in like PC build PC building game that came out not long ago. Anybody who's into software kind of things would be definitely interested in this kind of game. And the graphics aren't the best. I mean, they're something from the 80s, but they're clear. They do what they need to do. It's not about the graphics at the end of the day. Graphics don't mean everything. They don't make the game perfect. I mean, look at Factorio. That isn't the best looking game out there, but it's one of the most popular. Minecraft was another. It's about replayability, and this game definitely has that built within it. And with the additions of the workshop, you can really build your game to be how you want it to be. Most mods tend to be compatible with each other, and you can even make your own mods. So there is that. Anyway, I don't know if there's much more I can say. I like it, and I think a lot of other people would like it as well. Maybe overlooked it. I didn't overlook this one, but I have overlooked games in the past, and then eventually got them, or been gifted them, and actually found that they was good and did intrigue me. It's like about £11, $13 to $15 on Steam. You could pick it up in a sale at some point. I guess we're going to have like an Easter sale come out at some point for Steam. I don't know if this will be on sale at that point, but this game tends to go on sale quite a lot. But even at £11, it's still worth its money. You'll still get many hours in it. I have like 71, nearly 72 hours in this game, and when I first had it, I threw all of those hours into it, and then I stopped playing it because of other commitments, other games that go into real life simulator. That one isn't so much a game, but it's definitely an important factor within your life. And I put the game down, and I just launched it today, and I was like, wow, look at all of the changes that they've done, and I will be giving it a blast again. But unlike many people who rush through games, I like to take my time. I don't like to build up and expand and become the biggest company in the world straight off the get-go. I like to slowly and stably build my company up, and that way I know that it's not going to falter quickly, and if it does have a landslide, it's not going to be too dramatic, because I'll have the financial backing to try and help or give me the time that I might need to save the company from complete and utter failure. But the game, you can take risks. You can build software that may be questionable at the time, and we'll go on to development now. And well, that's something to consider. What's your playstyle? But anyway, I think I'm done with the questioning and trying to sell the game to you. I'm not trying to do that. I just think it's a game that you might enjoy. If you do enjoy these kind of games, then you probably would enjoy this, but by no means am I being asked to or in any way by the developers to try and sell their game. They do a good job on that themselves. It's just a game I do like. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, hit the thumbs up. If you want to see more from me, then subscribe and hit the bell icon so you'll be notified when I do put a video out. I will probably be going through other games that I've got in my library that I haven't played for a while, or games that I like, and occasionally put one of them out as a let's try, and maybe one of those games you might like. But for sure, if you're interested, my advice: go and watch a YouTube channel, let's play on a YouTube of whichever game that I've got on my channel that you like the look of, if I haven't done a let's play on it myself, and decide then. Don't always go by the reviews on Steam, is my definite advice to you guys. You know, everybody's entitled to their own opinions of a game, and not everybody's opinion counts. But I think that's it. So thanks for watching, and